Welcome back, everyone. So in today's video, we're going to go for a walk around the city of Riga. And this video is going to be just me walking around Riga. I'm not going to go to the old town because I'm going to make a video specifically on the old town of Riga next. But this is just going to be kind of generally what it looks like around Riga. I'm going to go over the bridges. I'm going to show you that. And I'm also going to show you some aerial drone footage of the city as well. And I'll talk through that as we're watching it and show you kind of the interesting spots to go, what I enjoyed, some of the things you'll see. So if you're going to Riga in Latvia, this video should help you kind of give you a little bit of the lay of the land, so to speak, and kind of generally what the city looks like, generally where you could go to see some cool stuff and things like that. All right, so with that, let's look at the video. All right, so we're starting off down by the river. The river's always a great place to explore on any city. Riga is no exception to that, so go check that out. Walk from the city down to the river. Now I'm on one of the bridges, and this gets a little busy, and you'll notice that the rail is not super robust or anything, but it was no problem. It's a bit noisy. Now I'm walking over the bridge. I'm going actually to the market, and I made a video on that you can go check out. But look at the building kind of to my left, and that's, now I'm across the bridge. I'm looking at the river. This is really cool, really scenic, a good spot to rest. You have to kind of walk around and before you get up onto the trail again from the bridge. Now I'm looking kind of the other angle at the other bridge there. Very beautiful, right? Beautiful day. This is that amazing building, and I forget what it's called. I'll put it in the notes down below, but it's just so cool. And as you walk past it, you can't miss it because it's so big. It's one of the biggest buildings around, but the architecture is so amazing. I never went in it, so if you went in this building, let me know what it was like on the inside, because I never had a chance to see it on the inside, but it looked pretty cool. This is one of the few museums that I actually visited when I was in Riga, and it was interesting if you're into that sort of stuff. I only spent about a half an hour in there, and as you can see, there's a lot of kind of really real things in there. It kind of makes you aware of the lifestyle, what people wore, how they lived their lives back in the day. And so you can walk through this fairly quickly. It's a nice little museum, but it's got a lot of things from people's lives, which I really thought was cool. And you can see it goes through different parts of history for the region. It's got some interesting things. This part here was cool too, because you're in this kind of dance hall almost, and you can kind of look down on it. Now we're in the shopping mall, so if you're going to go to Riga to do some shopping, it's okay. I think the pricing and the selection isn't great in Riga for shopping, to be honest. Like, maybe I'm wrong, so let me know if I'm wrong. But like, I wandered through the malls here, and I was like, yeah, it's just the same as back home, but less selection, and it's the same price. Oh, this was beautiful. So if you're going to the market, which I highly recommend, then definitely take your time and take a look at some of the scenery. People walking around, bringing their stuff back to their home that they bought at the market. And you got to go to the market. The market's one of the coolest things to do in Riga. This is one of the parks there, very beautiful. This is near the Monument for Freedom, their freedom statue or monument there, which is very cool. You can't miss it. The parks surround that whole monument, which is kind of very central to Riga. And just beautiful, right? Beautiful day, very nice and sunny. This was in October, so you've got the fall leaves and just making it so beautiful. There's the Freedom Monument. Everyone's very proud of that. It's a really, really central to the city. Some soldiers marching around it there, and that was kind of interesting. Never a big group. And now we're in the park, and the parks again are quite beautiful. I was on my way to get lunch at this point, and so I didn't really stop here, but as you can see, this is October. You got the beautiful leaves of fall, and people are relaxing there. It was a bit cold at this time of year. I don't remember the exact temperature, but I was wearing a jacket, a scarf, and I believe even a hat, just to keep warm. There's a lot of culture and history with these buildings here. I went on a night tour, and we went and looked at these buildings, and you can look up all the details. I don't have time to get into that with you on this video, but definitely check out those buildings there when you go on a tour. I highly recommend you do that. It's well worth it. And this is kind of what the city looks like at night. The city really comes to life at night, I find, especially Old Town, and I'll do a video on that. But it's almost a different city at night, I find. You've got all the people celebrating at night. If you're not into that, then stay away from Old Town, because it just turns into a totally different scenario. As you can see, it all brightens up. There's a lot of nightlife activity there. especially in certain locations, but it's very beautiful at night as well. If you're able to get any elevation and look down on the city, there's a couple hotels where you can go actually quite high up, and there's bars and restaurants you can do there, and you can look down on this sort of scene, which in particularly is nice. I don't know how they do it, but the city really seems to glow at night when you're looking down on it like that. And you can see from these drone shots, it's quite beautiful that way. It's not a big city, so you can walk around most of it pretty quickly, and things are not too far away. If you're going to cross the bridges to the markets that I talk about in my other videos, then that does take probably about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, but most of it within the city center there is pretty quick, right? You can see the church in the middle there, and that's a really good focal point, and that's really where Old Town is. That's kind of I think, the southern border of Old Town. We're just taking a look at the bridges. There's multiple bridges that you can go over in Riga, and I believe that one on the left there is the one that I went over, but you can go over both of them, I believe. There's the church there in the background. You can also see the market. Those airplane hangars, those were, well, they weren't airplane hangars. There you can see it again. Those were for the Zeppelins in World War II. So it's really worth going there. I did a video on that as well. Go check it out. The market's just amazing. I think it's the largest market in Europe, and just so many different things. A lot of good food there. A lot of groceries you can buy and stuff like that. You just have to go there. There's the church again, gives you a view of the city and how that's laid out. Okay, so that's it. That's the quick tour of Riga. Hopefully that gave you some insights into kind of what the town is like. It was very quick, very small clips there, because I wanted to give you a little peppering of everything. But what I would recommend is do a walk around. I would say go to both markets, go to the farmers market, which is across the bridge, but then also go to the city market, which is in those World War II Zeppelins. Both are amazing. I think you just have to go to both. Even if you're not going to buy anything, just go to both, check it out. It's well worth doing that. And if you want to learn more about Riga, I recommend take a look at my other videos. I'll put links to them up here in one of the corners, and you can take a look at that. So with that, happy trails.